Hi everyone, it's Chrissy here from Eduro Learning, and I'm back with you today with another live video in our Connected Teacher series. Last week I was fortunate enough with the weather to be able to broadcast live from our awesome, amazing site way down the bottom of the South Island, but today the weather's not that great, so I'm back inside my office. Last week's topic was all about some really simple ways that you can connect your classroom to the world, and it got me thinking about, even though it's really simple to connect your classroom through a variety of tools like Skype or Google Hangouts or social media, or even just inviting someone like myself to connect with your classroom and I can Zoom in or Skype into your classroom. But I really got to thinking about, how do you even find those people that you want to connect yourself or your class with? So that's this week's topic. How do you even get started being a connected teacher? Because we truly think that you do need to be connected yourself in order for you to be able to connect your classroom. So how do you get started? Like, who do you even follow? So we are big proponents of using social media tools like Twitter to get yourself connected and to connect your class to the world. And it can be a very daunting place to start because Twitter can be very overwhelming, it can be very noisy. And so how do you even get started getting into a community of followers, or getting people that you want to follow that sort of makes sense for you and your classroom? So I've got a couple of tips for you today all about that. Plus, if you come back, if you're watching this video not live but watching it a bit later, in the videos after I finish today, in the comments after I finish today, I will put a link to a free digital download that we have for you this week. It's called Who Do You Follow When Starting Your PLN? And it's got tips and tricks and strategies for different ways to get those people into your personal learning network that are really amazing to connect with and invite into your classroom, or to follow to get ideas for your classroom. And then we also have a couple of other links in the comments below for you as well, so don't forget to check those out. So what tips do I have for you? Well, getting started being a connected teacher, you really need to take the plunge, and if you're not there already, get yourself on Twitter. And if Twitter really is too daunting for you, perhaps you want to start with Facebook, because there are a ton of Facebook groups out there as well for teachers, for classrooms, for topics that you might be interested in. If you're a science teacher or you're a math teacher, there are some amazing educator groups out there on Facebook, and all you need to do is simply use the search bar in Facebook to find those types of groups and join them. You can be a lurker, so just be watching and not making any comments, but I need to stress to you that the more you put in, the more you get out. And so when you start responding to comments and start responding to what people have shared, you start getting a lot more back. You still get a lot if you lurk, but you start getting a lot more back, and you really start building your personal learning network and making great connections that you can go on to do bigger and better stuff later on with those connections. So that's Facebook. If you want to take the plunge and get yourself on Twitter, then I know how overwhelming that can be. I know my first attempt at Twitter, I was just there because people said that that was the place to be. I was at a conference and Twitter was all the rage, and so I joined, and I really didn't get anything out of it. I really didn't even understand it for at least a year. So I'm hoping that I can bypass that year for you and give you a few tips that I wish I'd had when I got started on Twitter. it kind of got very noisy very, very quickly because I just thought I needed to follow everyone, and I actually didn't, because the more people you follow, the more traffic comes into your feed. And so I basically started out just by following the people that I was connecting with at the conference, and then they were saying, you know, you should follow so and so, and you should follow this person, and you should follow that person. And before I knew it, I was following like 500 odd people, and my Twitter feed got noisy very, very, very quickly, and it was very overwhelming. So now I have a few little tricks that I do. I don't follow everyone. I follow people who have been recommended to me by other people that I have already met, and I already follow them. That's a really nifty trick, is that you get one recommendation from that person that you follow and that you really like. And I also gave myself permission, and this is a big one, I gave myself permission to unfollow somebody who really wasn't adding any value to my feed. And once I did that, my Twitter feed got very, very practical, and it got a lot less noisier, because I think at the time we feel a little bit guilty when we unfollow people, but they don't know, and they have no idea who's followed them or who's unfollowed them. So it really is okay to unfollow someone that isn't adding any value to the information that's coming to you. So follow someone that you already know and respect, they follow. Ask them for that one recommendation. Who's that one person that you would follow? That's number one tip. Number two tip is, don't be afraid. Give yourself permission to unfollow somebody who's not adding any value to your Twitter feed. Tip number three, and this is probably the biggest one, is there are a ton of hashtags that are about, a ton of educational hashtags that are about on Twitter these days. And it's no longer necessary for you to follow a person. You can follow a hashtag, which kind of doesn't seem as daunting as following a person, because if you follow a person, you get everything that they're talking about on any kind of topic, which is kind of cool, but also can be very overwhelming. If you follow a hashtag, by following a hashtag, you're getting information from a variety of different people, but it's all on that one topic. And there are some amazing lists out there. There's like the 100 top educational hashtags, and you can go through and you can choose a hashtag to follow. When you're following a hashtag, it's kind of handy to use a social media gathering tool like TweetDeck is a really good one that kind of can set the hashtags into columns for you and make it a little bit easier to follow those hashtags. Or otherwise, you can just dedicate some time to go on Twitter and do a search for a particular hashtag that you might be interested in. There's hashtags for every single level in school, like year 3 hashtag or grade 3 hashtag. There is science hashtags, there is literacy coach hashtags, there is a hashtag for just about every area of education that you could possibly think of. And if you're not even sure where to start with, like what sort of hashtag might be of interest to me, then all you need to do is simply Google hashtags, educational hashtags, and you'll come up with some great lists. There are a number of people who've put out some really thorough lists, and you can just choose a hashtag that is personal and pertinent to you. So that is a really good, solid, not so overwhelming way for you to be able to find people to connect with or topics to connect with and about, and be able to bring those topics and connections into the classroom. So those are kind of the 3 things that I would do to get started with connecting myself and connecting my classroom. I hope you find those 3 tips handy. We've got a ton of information and resources, free digital downloads, things that you can look at, videos for you to see, head on over to our website eduroloarning.com/connected, and you'll get access to a whole lot of things that we offer that can help you get started connecting yourself and connecting your classroom. And don't forget, if you're a video watcher, if you enjoy videos, we have started our new series called Let's Get Connected, and it features 10 amazing educators who I've put on a Twitter list. That's that's a bonus tip for you. You can also follow Twitter lists, like somebody that you really respect. That might be us here at Eduro Learning. We have lists. We have lists of coaches. We have a list of connected educators. And in our list of connected educators, if you follow the list, then you get all of the people that are in that list. And in that list are the 10 educators that feature in our Let's Get Connected video series, which we are releasing episode number 2 this week. And episode number 2 is all about what's the value of being a connected educator or a connected teacher. It's a really awesome series. I am very, very proud of it, and there is a wealth of expertise amongst those 10 amazing educators. So today they're sharing all about what's in it for you as a teacher to be connected. So check that out. I'll also pop that link in the comments below. Thanks for joining us today. That's all I've got for you. And remember, I'm back again next week, same time, same place. Well, hopefully the weather is a little bit nicer and I'll be outside with the Southern Pacific Ocean at my back and talking to you again next week about being a connected teacher and how to go global. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you again same time, same place next week.